Now you can hear me. Look, we've been away for a week. I've forgotten what to do. I've forgotten what buttons to press. How's everyone today?
You're a bit out of focus.
Am I out of focus?
Yeah, no audio.
There is now.
You're out of focus.
There is
you look
now.
a bit blurry.
Well, that's me in general, that is. Yeah, I was on manual focus. Thank you for that. See, we've been away all week and I've just forgotten what to do. Ow! My right knee's had it.
Oh dear, one day back.
One day back and I'm absolutely... Anyway, how is everybody today? We're going to see if you can all hear me first of all and the lovely Louise. Can you hear Louise?
Sound is good now. Yes, can you hear me?
See if you can all hear Louise. Let us know. Thumbs up. How is everybody today? Good, good, good. Marcia, I've been away for over a month. Wow, Marcia. Bit fuzzy around the edges. Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, my brother said it's not just his face. Thank you, John. Lots of love to Paige, my niece, who had a nasty accident this morning. She's done something hideous to her foot and ankle.
The picture didn't look too good, did it?
Yeah, they can't do anything for another week, so lots of love to you, sweetheart, from us both.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. Anyway,
you hear both?
yep.
Good, good. No, okay, so there we go. Oh, hang on. I just got to remove this off the board a minute. Hang on. This is not relevant anymore. You can see me. I thought we'd be on time today. The only time we're on time is when we're on holiday. Do you notice?
That's because we were there already.
And that's could be had a pint in our hand as well at the same time.
That's the quickest way to get you to a Q&A. Have it in the pub.
How is everyone today? I hope you all managed to join us last week. We did it from Falmouth, from the back of a pub. They had lovely tables and we were going around with the phone trying to find the best reception. You right?
Bit of static.
Yeah, it's most probably me. Yeah, so we were going around the car park trying to get the right amount of download speed and upload speed, and we tried to do it on free Wi-Fi, tried to do it on 4G. Too much beer. Janet, I don't know. I think it's too much walking, Janet. My knee.
Did an awful lot of walking,
we did loads and loads of walking.
Lots and lots of walking.
We did sort of like walked from the apartment to the pub, back to the apartment.
No, we did serious walking. We were walking 20 kilometres a day on top of our runs.
Yes.
Which we were doing in the morning.
Yes,
so,
we were.
Yeah, there was a lot of running.
A lot of running, a lot of walking. We ran to the beach, and it was absolutely lovely, wasn't it? We had a lovely week off. We worked most of the week. We worked as in talked about work and brainstormed, threw ideas back and forth about at the bench, what we can do with the workshops and so forth. So we've been having a play around whilst we were away with ideas, getting in contact and sorting things out for the website, a new special area of the website that I'm not going to talk about at the moment. The workshops, we've managed to sort out things like tickets and the entrance fee to our fantastic workshops that we're going to be doing. Don't really have much more information than that at the moment because we have been away.
First day back, yep.
It's just hard. I've been grumpy all day, haven't I?
You have a little bit, yeah, admittedly.
I was out, yeah. So whilst we were away, we took a trip to a couple of the beaches that were right near Falmouth, and where's number two? Is that number two? Number two, please. And we found all this beach glass, loads and loads of beach glass, some gorgeous pale blue, lots of green. There's there was an absolute fantastic blue colour, wasn't there? That Louise, there it is there. Now you may not be able to see how blue that is, but that's a gorgeous piece of blue glass. Loads of shells. I got some ideas to do with the shells, whelks, swords, that sort of thing. And then Louise then started to pick up stones.
You sound like class dance.
Yeah, Louise picked up boring stones. They look good when they were wet, but they're pretty boring now. So Louise picked up stones, and Louise had some ideas.
They look good when they were wet, and they might be okay. And anyway, what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with picking up stones at all. You're fine. We've got like a slabbing machine that we sort of acquired, and so we're going to have a go at cutting it, and then perhaps we're going to try and sort out a few ideas on polishing the slabs and so forth. We also found some cuttlefish as well on the beach, but we decided to keep them and leave them at home and left them outside because they stank, didn't they? They absolutely smelt to high heaven. But the beach glass, we got some ideas for At the Bench, some films, because everyone is asking on these Q&As all about beach glass and what's the best way and can you solder and so forth. So we got a whole load of films planned for that, a whole load of films planned for casting as well, with all the bits and pieces that we picked up. Yes, so workshops, in case people who are coming on who don't know what we're talking about. You've got a cab machine and you're interested. Good, good, good. Ours isn't a cab, it's more of like a slabbing machine. It just cuts, it's got a diamond wheel just to cut slabs. That's what we're going to do at the moment, isn't it? And just to see how it goes. But yes, when we're going to be doing workshops that are going to be free to At the Bench members, and there's going to be a nominal fee for non-At the Bench paid members. The people can come on. It's going to be a workshop. It's going to be once a month. 2 hours, 3 hours we thought of. There's going to be a specific technique or project, that sort of thing, and it's going to be available via Zoom. So grab yourself your downloaded Zoom, make sure you have the latest copy of that. There'll be chatting, there'll be projects, there'll be techniques. Again, it's all free for At the Bench members. We like to try and work on new, fantastic, exciting ways to benefit the At the Bench members and make your membership even more fantastic value than what it is already, isn't it?
Yeah. Iona's offered to take the cuttlefish off our hands.
Oh, we're going to use it. We're going to be using it. We're going to be.
I'd happily send it to you, Iona. But would it get you in the post is the thing, because whoever's they might think something has died. Well, something has, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. That's why it stinks. Here we are. So
yeah, we got a few films planned, techniques from the shore, I think we've called it. So yeah, we're going to be using all bits and pieces from the shore to do certain projects with the cuttlefish. Obviously you find on the shoreline, we can use that. Yes, Louise?
I think I just went like that.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No,
no. Cooey.
Actually, while I do have your attention, I could show you an idea for a project I had.
Go on.
If I could share my screen for a moment.
Yes. Have I got to show the screen, have I?
Well, you could, yeah, it's Claire requested a stone setting video.
Yes.
And I thought this would be perfect now.
The Brittany.
The Brittany.
The Brittany.
Yeah.
Not the Brittany Ferry.
The Britney Spears.
The Britney Spears.
The Lioness.
The Lioness.
Think about that.
We had ideas, didn't we, of what I could engrave inside your...
I said, because she said, Britney Spears has got engaged.
Yes.
And this is the ring she's got, which I think is big, isn't it?
Yes. As in big finger size?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's a big stone. It's 4 carat, isn't it?
Yes.
And but yeah, it's nice. I mean, obviously it's going to be
expensive.
Expensive,
of course,
yeah. But
yes.
I thought from the front it just looked quite simple and
elegant.
Does
it have anything from the side?
Yes, it's got diamonds here in the...
No, from the edge.
From the edge. I don't know. I couldn't find an image. Oh, there we are, Lioness. No, it just looks like a simple solitaire from the top, but then I think there's stones on the claws.
Don't know what it is.
It looks like, yeah, and it's just, yeah. So if we could have a tutorial on that, that'd be great.
Someone's saying, check out Lib and Leo jewellery on Etsy. They do have some fantastic silver jewellery with some sea glass. We will certainly check them out. One thing I want you guys to chat about in the chat, and I want you to come up with something for me. Because Louise was saying, oh, you could have the inside of my rings engraved. And I want to know what you think I should have engraved on the inside.
No, come on, you should think of it yourself.
I'm just curious to hear.
What would you have then? I don't know. Just tell me later. It's not going to be a PG, is it?
So what do you think I should have engraved on the inside of Louise's wedding ring? Eternity ring, whatever. Just let me know. It has to be clean, obviously.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Parental guidance, yeah. So in the chat, just have a look. Let me know what you think I should get engraved on the inside of Louise's ring.
Okay.
Just have a bit of chat throughout the whole, it'll be funny what people come up with.
Okay.
How about a nice coat like the bigger the balls? It's
They're all flat bottoms, yeah.
all right. Should we start? Anything else to say,
Yeah.
Lou? Anything else?
No, I could chat about other things that have been in the news, but relevant, jewellery relevant, but yeah.
What are
we'll
they?
save that for later.
What are they?
Oh, I'll save it for later when we're, yeah, let's get on with the questions
All right,
now,
no
shall
worries.
we? Yeah.
It is Monday the 20th. I hope you weren't all confused yesterday because I put down...
Oh, I was. I was sat on the sofa in my pyjamas thinking, oh my days, what's he doing now? Gonna have to get dressed.
Where's he going to be live from? Because he's out in the garden. Yeah, I put down the 12th of September, I even put it to schedule on the 12th of September. But then Louise said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I got the date wrong. It should have been the 13th. So it is the 13th of September, Monday, 4 p.m, time for our question and answer session. Louise, do we have our first question, please?
Yes, we do. Marilyn has a few rectangular stones with straight sides and sharp corners. How do you suggest I set these, prong or bezel?
Okay. You see, I think somebody mentioned about doing a bezel. There's quite a few films on At the Bench, yes, that shows a bezel. But if you don't want to, we've seen some images of really sharp corners on bezels, and some people can't quite get those corners onto the stone. My little cuttlefish.
Oh, that's a good one, Marcia.
So you have your rectangular stone, yeah, that's your stone. You will build a bezel, okay, for that to go around the stone. So let's take that away, and let's extend that up to here, like that. Okay, so here's your bezel that is slightly now higher than your stone, which is by here. So this is your stone, okay? If you come to bezel set, you have to bezel the corners first, okay? So never start at the middle and bezel and burnish outwards, okay? Because you're effectively stretching the metal out to the corner. So if you're looking down on your piece of stone here, okay, there's your bezel going around the outside. If you started here and you push, you're going to have a bit of an overlap by here that does that. And you do the same, you push here, you're going to have this big gap on the corner, okay, that you will never ever get over onto the stone. You can just about see that, yeah? So what you need to do, you need to start on the corner and burnish towards the middle, okay, that way. And likewise on here, so you burnish over the corner first, then you burnish to the middle, likewise here, burnish to the middle, burnish to the middle, burnish to the middle, burnish to the middle. Does that make sense, okay? So that would be the way you would burnish. You would not start here and go out. You would not go, say, even there and start to the end, because the metal is going to do that. So that is the correct way that you need to bezel set. But this is the best thing. So say you've got your stone and you think, do you know what, I really don't want the metal wrinkling up on my corners at all. Well, why not just make a bit of a decoration? Take away the bezel on the corner and likewise over there. Take the bezel away. Yeah. So there is no bezel on the corner and likewise here.
Yeah, Sandra's saying, do you need to cut a little bit into the bezel inside the corners to help them bend?
If it's thin enough, you shouldn't need to, and you shouldn't really have too much metal coming over. And also, if you soldered it, solder doesn't really bend as well as the normal sort of virgin metal. So you should always start and burnish on the corners and then work to the middle. But why not do a bit of a decoration? Take away the corners, file away the bezel, and if you wanted to, you could file a bit of a scallop like that going around. Yep. And make a little bit of a feature of the bezel. So the bezel is nicely serrated like that. And obviously then you're not going to have that there. Go on.
Gillian's saying, I thought you need the bezel to protect the corners.
The stone would be coming right up to the edge. So the way I'm drawing there, obviously the stone isn't up here the stone is actually, so that the edges where you take away would be down level with the stone itself.
And burnish the top ones over then.
So you just burnish these over, yeah. So basically almost like a claw setting, but made from a bezel. And if you take these edges down, so here's your stone here, here's the bezel that you'd have at normal height. Yeah, that's your bezel. But when you file it down, you would just file it down to the edge of the stone. So the stone's not going to catch. The stone is still protected by the metal, but you've got nothing to push over. You've only just got this metal here to burnish over. So you can do it either way. Absolutely.
Good.
Thank you, Louise. Next question.
Okay. Louise is asking, I have a stone-related question. Louise, I'm looking at purchasing turquoise. What are the pros and cons between treated and untreated? Well, as far as I know, the vast majority of turquoise kicking about now is probably going to be treated. So you're more likely to come into contact with treated turquoise, aren't you? And untreated turquoise is likely to be really expensive. And how do you prove then that it's untreated?
How do they treat it, or why would they treat it?
I think it's stable. It make it more stable. It tends to discolour, particularly if it's a lower grade turquoise. Susan's saying treated is poo poo. Susan knows a lot about stones. I thought most turquoise is treated, Susan. A high percentage of would be treated.
Yes.
But if it's a high grade turquoise and untreated, if it's high grade turquoise and untreated, it's probably quite rare, I think.
Although it would command a higher price.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. So they make it stable by treating it to improve the cut, so the colour doesn't fade then. It stabilises.
I think it goes a bit of a manky colour as far as I know.
If it's natural and untreated, yeah.
Yeah, or it can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can even get sort of the reconstituted, where they just grind it up, mixed with resin, and that's like all over. It's not real turquoise,
is it?
But it's
reconstituted.
Reconstituted, and that's very stable.
Yeah. Oh, Susan's saying we have lots of untreated in the US. But how stable is it, Susan? Do you find that over time it discolours, fades, or goes a bit greeny? Does it?
Let us know. Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Do you know
I suppose it's price, isn't it? It depends on how much you want to pay for it, I guess. Because I thought untreated turquoise was more expensive. And then the thing is, rare, but Susan's saying it's not that rare.
But if you want to have a piece of in your silver jewellery, what would people prefer? People would prefer treated or untreated? If it's untreated and it's more expensive, put it next to another piece that was treated, that was cheaper, knowing that the treated is going to last them longer. You're going to get the same colour going for years and years and years. They're more likely to go for the treated then, perhaps.
Depends on how depends on the mine, how it goes. Absolutely not.
It'd be interesting to know. Interesting if you did get in contact with some stone merchants and just ask their opinions on it as well, and see what sort of prices comparatively from different sizes to treated and untreated. So that would be
no soap, oils, hand creams for untreated. Yeah, I thought that, Rebecca. It's quite unstable if it's not been treated, so you have to be really, really careful with it. Yeah. So I suppose it depends on what your customer wants it for. If they want to wear it regularly or be really careful with it and treat it with kid gloves, then untreated might not be the best option.
Yes, it's like everything else, isn't it? You have to then sell the piece of jewellery that suits the person's lifestyle and what they do as well.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting one. Yeah, I'd like to know a bit more. Susan, put some info in the forum for me. I'd love to know in the gemology section. And
yes.
Yeah, let me know what you know. Let me pick your brains. Sleeping Beauty uses a secret process. Ah, right, okay. But the quality of high grade is fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But then I think the more you treat it, the more you do to it, the more you devalue it, I think. Unstable turquoise will destroy itself, soaking in water and wearing in the shower, It comes down to how it's not treated, but how it's worn, how it's used, and how it's looked after, I suppose, not treated, Hard to detect treatment. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? How do you know then that you're getting what somebody's saying you're getting. Sounds like a right minefield, doesn't it?
Yes.
And at the hard way trying to wash off a bag, I thought a lot of it just crumbled.
Wow.
Ooh, Sleeping Beauty Man has been closed for years. This darker stuff that Grandma has had darkened over time because it wasn't treated. Also, there is high-grade stuff that is stabilised. That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot to know about it then.
Yeah. Please give us your thoughts and your chats in the gemology section within the At the Bench forum. We would love to know more, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it sounds like there's lots and lots of variables actually that can come into it. So, Louise, if you're on the forum, we'll start a little discussion about it and look into this a little bit deeper because it sounds like there's like I say, lots of variables and lots to know about it.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, good question.
Lovely. May we have another question then, please?
Louise is saying, Marilyn, if you're a member of At the Bench, Andrew's done a really good video of bezel setting for rectangular stones. Cool, thank you very much. Jill is asking, I've been given some thermolock and want to use it on a bezel wire only. Open back setting for a piece of amber. Any tips?
Okay. You can use your thermalock. I'm going here. So I thought I had some in my top drawer, but I looked the other day. So thermalock, yes, you can warm it up in the microwave. You can put it in some hot water. My favourite thing to do is to put it in the microwave to start off with. Obviously, once the pieces of metal is in the thermalock, you can't put it back in the microwave to warm it up because you get all those sparks that happen when you put metal in microwaves. Have you ever done that?
No.
Awesome.
You shouldn't do that.
It's not on purpose, obviously accidentally.
No, we do not recommend putting metal in the microwave. Just putting that out there. Carry on, Andrew.
So warm it up in the microwave, put it on some Teflon so it doesn't stick to what's going on. When you get it nice and soft and pliable, then you can do your things with it. You can get something like this, like a little block like this here, that'll fit into one of the new GRS Benchmate systems, the Encore or the QC, and you can put your thermalock on here, or if you've got a little vise, let's just grab this as well. If you've got a vise, you could use something like that. Can't quite see because the camera's not on it. Something like this. You could then get the thermalock, push it down into the gap, spread it open, and then put your bezel on the top of it, okay? But then you say you're doing amber. Now the problem is the amber has a bit of depth in it. What you're gonna have to do is get perhaps, what are those things called? Jumping away, I forgot what things are called these days. Doming punch, and push down in the middle of it so it pushes down. Do you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so here's your vise, okay? So here's your vise here. Okay, so there's your vise, okay? You get your blob of thermalock, you put it in here, and then here's your thermalock, then you spread it out around here, this area like this, okay? So that's your thermalock that goes around like that. You put your bezel, for argument's sake, in it, push it down a little bit so perhaps it goes halfway up so it nicely holds it. Then get yourself your dubbing punch, yep, and then push down inside here so you have the bezel edge here, your thermalock is here, yep, and then get your bezel, your dubbing punch, and you push down the thermalock so the thermalock goes down like that. So when your amber goes in, you can push the amber down. If you do it now, when the thermalock is nice and soft, you can do that quite nicely. The problem is when it starts to harden, you won't be able to do that. So you're going to have to put it in some hot water or put your torch on here to make this a little bit softer. Torch I wouldn't recommend, but putting it in boiling hot water for a few minutes is going to be the best thing to do. And obviously then your thermalock comes around and it does that like that, because this is inside your vise like that. And that would be the best way to do it. This is important to get a nice deep, like a well inside the bezel, and that should be able to work quite nicely. If you want to get the bezel off, I would put then the thermalock in some boiling hot water. I don't think hot water would damage the amber, but that's definitely what I would do. Do it that way and you should have no problems with setting your amber. Louise, maybe have another question, please.
Yes. Julia has a safety question.
Yes.
Do you use a propane gas detector in your workshop? I saw them for sale on Amazon and had never heard of them before. Are they a good idea?
I haven't seen propane detectors actually. I've seen things like carbon monoxide detectors, and we've got some in the house obviously because of the combi boilers that we have, but I haven't seen a propane detector, gas detector. I guess it would have to be on the floor. Because propane is heavier than air, if propane escapes, it'll settle on the floor. It won't come up into the atmosphere, it'll settle on the floor because it's heavier than air. So I don't know, I'm going to have a look at that actually. Let me just put it on here, propane detector. I will have a look, and I don't think it would be a bad idea to have one. To be honest, if you're in the home, yes, you should always make sure that your joints are perfect when you come to put your gas lines together, your hoses. You can get a little bit of like soapy water or some special leak detecting liquid over the threads to make sure that there is nothing coming out. But I don't think it would be a bad idea if you did, and perhaps safety wise, so you can actually be sure that there is nothing escaping and put it right next to your bottle. So I think, yes, that would be a good idea, but I'm going to look into it because I think that would be really good, wouldn't it?
I wasn't really listening, sorry, I was looking at the questions.
No worries. Maybe have another question then, please.
Yes, certainly. Thomas is asking, when soldering with binding wire, I get imprints of the wire in the piece I am making. Is there a trick? I.e., it seems that the binding wire is molten into the copper I am using.
Okay, so this reason I don't like using binding wire for this very reason. As you see, I hardly ever use binding wire, but I only use binding wire as last resort. If you can, get things like these little titanium strips, okay? And you can bend them into all sorts of clamps. We've got this coming off again, Louise. If this goes off at random.
Mrs. Lloyd.
Mrs. Lloyd's, come on. Yes, Mrs. Lloyd's.
She missed this last week.
I got to turn this off now. Thank you. There we go. Don't know why that always goes off around this time, doesn't it? So that's what I would do. I would get something like, if you can, titanium strips. We sell them. If you want to know where to get them from, I think they're about £2 each, something like that. We sell them in 5s and 10s. andrewberry.co.uk/shop. So that should be on the stream deck, I think, is it? Was it not? No.
I don't.
No, tap on there.
I think it is. No.
So yeah, so my
.uk or com?
Co.uk. Otherwise, it's the jewellery site, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the other problem is, if you've got something like this and you wrap binding wire around, what's going to happen? When you tighten it and you sort of twist it here, it's going to pull in these corners. If you try and do it so it's nice and straight, it's off again. It's very strange. There, I'm there going off, so thank you, Louise.
Oh,
thank you very much indeed. We thought it was Mrs. Lloyd coming back. Ooh. Look, our lights are flashing. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you,
do
Louise.
appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much. Okay, so when you twist the binding wire, it pulls these corners, and I find the problem is when you heat up then your metal, whether that be silver or copper, the metal does become slightly soft, and the problem is the binding wire will cut into the edges. So I don't normally like to do this, okay? The way, I don't know exactly how you've got it set up, but the things that I find a lot of people would do is they would put perhaps a piece of metal here, okay, and a piece of metal here, so it relieves the pressure off the corner. That's the board.
Okay.
Yeah, and that. So it takes the pressure off the corners by doing that. And you have a piece of metal, it could be perhaps an old burr. So you've got, say, a box like this, Your binding wire goes around, you'd have a piece of metal that would come in underneath by here. Yep. And another piece of metal that would come in by here. Yep. Then your binding wire would come around and come around that way. Another piece of metal here. So that takes the pressure off the corners. And I would do it that way because the binding wire just needs to hold something together. And by putting these little bits of metal, they could be little bits of burr, bits of silver, a spare bit of copper, it stops the wire being in contact with the copper or the silver, and it's just these areas then that are going to be in contact. So that's a little trick that you can use, but obviously don't tighten this so tight that the whole thing distorts. And that's what I would do. If you've got a ring, like this and you're trying to solder it, I would never put binding wire around a ring to hold it if I could possibly help it. If you do have to do that way, do exactly the same. Put the binding wire here, then put a piece of metal there, so the binding wire comes over that, and then you twist it there. So when you come to solder this joint, there's no binding wire actually on the joint, because these pieces of metal are holding the binding wire off the metal, and you should be able to solder quite easily by that. Thank you, Louise, for that. That's very kind of you. Louise, may I have another question?
Yes, Dragon Hex is saying, new door system workbench, how do you attach GRS quick release system like you have, please?
Okay, let's just try and get this camera. Ooh, let's try and get this camera in. Can we move that out the way? Yes, we can. All right, so this is what I've done. Can we zoom in? That's the wrong. Where's my? There it is. Let's try and zoom in on this, shall we? Can we see? Let me hang on a sec. Let me disconnect my power for a split second. Hopefully the camera's not going to go off. Cool. There we go. Let's put it around a little bit further now. There we go. So that's what I've done. I have simply got on the bench here, there's that bit of metal underneath with these little holes that you can put your triplets in, your mandrels in, and I've just got the screws on the top too. I could put it on the next one down, but there was a little bit of a gap behind here, and that's what I've done on that. The bench thickness is about 30 millimeters, and I find that fits on quite nicely there. And you can see that the curvature here of the bench is not suitable really for a straight edge here, so I do have a bit of a gap. Let's use those again. So I do have a bit of a gap behind here, which I'm not really happy about, but you can always fill that with a little bit of silicone just so there's no gap, so you don't lose anything down behind there. So that's the way you could do it there. The other way you can do it, and I'm looking frantically to see if I've got my plate here, is to have the little angle that comes over the top. I'll go and get one in a minute. I'll put that back onto there so you can see what that's all about. Then go and get the adapter plate in a minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
But we do have the adapter plate. I'm just going to try and find it in one of the... Oh, I got two here. Here we go. All right, geez. Let's use the other one as well. There we go. Okay.
Not making very good headway with these questions, are we, today?
Pardon?
So we're not making very good headway.
So these are some adapter plates that you can buy from GRS, and they look something like that. And you can do exactly the same thing. You can put that actually on top of your bench, just like that there, and then the dovetail plate would screw into that little area by there. The problem with this is you've got this lip, and I don't like this lip, so perhaps what I would do, position that where you want to, score around the outside, a bit wider, there we go, score around the outside, remove that, take this wood down, it's about 4 millimeter, so when this goes on the bench it is nicely recessed, but that's another way that you can do that on any sort of bench. If the bench is too thin for the dovetail plate to go on, well then you can always use this adapter plate to go on. And it's exactly the same because you've got the little screws that go through. You may have to have a little bit of space on the back, or you can screw it directly into your worktop, but using this if need be. And I know some of the Durston benches now do come with the plates already fitted on the bench as well. This is an oldish bench, hence the reason why it doesn't have this plate already built in. But that's something that you can do yourself. And I think when I come to put one of these in, I would definitely countersink it into the bench, nice and flush. If you've got a router, is it router? Router. It's a router. You can take that down to a nice depth. If you know somebody does woodwork, a router would be absolutely brilliant. That would take it down to the correct depth, nice and neat, and you can just put that into place and have that nice and smooth. Louise, maybe have another question, please. Oh gosh. Sorry.
Baby is asking, I miss your tutorial videos. Are you going to make more of those here?
Tutorial videos on?
On YouTube, I'm guessing.
It's all to do with the matter of time. We lead such busy lives. Obviously, we have a workshop and a shop downstairs that takes up, I would say, about 50-75% of our time. And the rest of the time then, we do, Dylan said, yeah, get a router. Yes, a router. And the rest of the time then we do our at the bench stuff. I won't be doing any tutorials for YouTube for a little while yet because we've got so many things planned for at the bench that we don't have enough time. I'm looking over here, I've got so many pieces of equipment that I've got to trial, I've got to play around with. I've got some fantastic new products that have been sent to us whilst we're away. So that's what we're going to be working on really for the content for At the Bench rather than for YouTube. Okay, Liz? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. I will be doing tutorials for YouTube, but I'm devoting my time towards At the Bench, which for us is more beneficial for us. But obviously the lives that we do here on YouTube...
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise the big bum was in there.
You haven't got a big bum. Yeah, so that's what... Yeah, I got too many toys to play with, basically. And I need content for At the Bench. And with everything that we've got planned, we don't have an awful lot of time to do free films for YouTube, do we?
I think, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? This is where we're trying to be...
Is your microphone on?
Oh,
yeah.
Trying to be efficient and trying to make sure that paid members have the absolute best experience.
Yes.
But obviously we'll still keep doing... Sorry. We'll still keep doing
the
weekly Q&As.
Yes.
And Freeview members will also have access to the workshops.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a price.
Yes. Yeah.
But
so it will be chargeable. It's included in a membership, but if you're not a member, you can still join in and dip in and out as you want.
Absolutely. So that is our main priority, is making sure that all paid At the Bench members get top priority.
Chloe and Andrew. Oh, now there's an idea.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I can. It was okay last week because in theory, well, not in theory, we were on holiday, but we could talk business and ideas throughout the whole morning, noon and night, couldn't we? Which was great. But when we're at home, we work so much from, say, 8 or 8:30 till 5 or 5:30.
It's later than that.
It's later than that. But we don't really want to work and talk too much business afterwards.
Well, we do all the time. It's like...
We do, but we try not to do it too much because it can get a little bit... We forget to do other things now.
Yeah, we're getting better. I think it's just... Since the lockdown, when we didn't really do anything else other than work, you just get into the habit of working and then not doing much else, which is really unhealthy, isn't it?
But it's easy to work, isn't it? It is so easy to work. You can go home, and you were doing some work yesterday afternoon. I was doing some of my CAD CAM stuff as well. But it's so easy just to lapse into work.
Yeah, and just working at home and then you just working all the time. And that's what we fell into the trap of doing in lockdown. And we try and make a conscious effort not to. But I think any couple who work together and imagine that they're not going to talk about work when they get home is probably, I mean, it might work for some people and everyone's different, but We talk about work all the time, don't we, at home?
Yeah, we do. We talk. But then, as you say, there's only so many hours in a day, and I don't really want to be filming during the evening. I want to go home and chill and relax, put my PJs on, chill on the sofa.
Talk about work
We do
don't
talk, but we don't
Yeah.
work, do we? And I don't want to do that.
Well, not 24 hours a day anymore.
But yeah, if you could clone me, or if I could buy more time to do work, yes,
Two of you,
I would love
good
to.
Lord, can you imagine? Oh,
We'd have to have one that loved a fixed frame, one that loved an adjustable frame. Let's see the arguments that would happen between the two of us.
yeah, well, somebody said, Michael said 2 Andrews would argue with each other all of the time and never get anything done. Yeah, I think that's probably spot on there, Michael.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's have another question. So the answer is tutorials on YouTube. It's going to be a while yet before we get round to it, I'm afraid. I do have some ready filmed, but again, it's just a matter of getting the editing done and everything else. So it will be there, but not imminent. We're going to concentrate on building At The Bench up to be the best value jewellery training platform in the world. Best value for money, absolutely. Louise, may I have another question, please?
Absolutely. Russ is saying, hello, your videos are so helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
A quick question about soldering. Does it matter what solder you use for SI6?
SI6?
SI6.
What is SI6? What's SI6? SI6. We're going to have a
Might
look.
be typo.
SI6. Still, I don't know. SI6.
SI6.
Don't know. Quickly let us know what SI6 is.
Yeah.
It may
sorry,
be
Russ,
maybe a typo, perhaps. Not quite
could
sure.
be me just being
SI6.
a bit slow. Sorry.
But I won't answer that. I will come back to that. Just can you clarify what SI6 is, and we'll definitely answer that.
Okay.
Another question, please.
Yeah. Julie said, did you get any pirate glass? What's pirate glass?
What's pirate glass?
What's pirate glass? Okay. Louisa is saying, I would love some advice on finding a torch powerful enough for sand casting at home, but don't want to purchase a big gas canister for insurance and safety reasons. Are there any good alternatives?
There is. You can go for... Oh, let me get this. So, I don't know where you are, but you've got these 2 handheld torches from Durston, okay? Get them out the way. There's 2 torches. One is the normal torch, one is the cyclone torch. I have yet to try the cyclone torch, that was sent to me. So we got 2 torches. These are handheld torches, okay? They're not the small little butane ones like this. These literally are just too small. They're more this sort of size. These are butane torches. You put the gas in the bottom here. This can melt down 20 grams. Should be quite comfortable. Make sure that the gas chamber in the handle here is full before you start. This can do roughly around about 20 grams. That is going to be about the maximum that you're going to be able to do with a little handheld torch. You can always buy the plumber's torch heads that screw onto a gas canister, like a MAP gas canister, disposable canister. That may give you a little bit more power to be able to melt perhaps a little bit more. But I think Durston have got these on sale for about £30. There's a discount on the Durston site. You may be able to be lucky enough, if you're a member of At The Bench, a paid member of At The Bench, you should be able to go into the forum, into the suppliers section, and there's discount codes within there, and you should be able to use your discount codes on top of the discount that Durston are already doing on these torches. So if you're in the US, you can still buy online. Durston has a distribution facility in the US, and you should be able to get the discount in wherever you are. But these torches are great for around about 20 grams, and yes, you can do it. So don't expect miracles. Don't expect to, I know what you're saying, but I do want to melt about 20 grams. But you're going to need to melt as much as you can, so when you sand cast, you get enough of the metal coming along and pouring and dropping into the mold to fill it, and you have that little bit of extra silver as a head in the pouring channel, because you need that to allow for the weight to force the metal into the mold, because you're only relying upon gravity and the weight of the metal being pushed down into the mold to fill the mold. So yes, you can. These torches, go on to Durston.com, check them out, and you should be able to pick one up for a reasonable price, cheaper than most of the places, cheaper than Cookson at the moment, because Durston have discount codes. Grab your discount supplier code on the At The Bench forum, and you should be able to get it even cheaper again. Sievert Power Jet is a pretty powerful torch with the disposable cans, but there we go, that's a nice interesting one. Sievert, I don't think supplies in the US, so you may have problems getting any Sievert products in the US. I'm sure it's only EU only for that sort of thing. But yes, anything like that, matte gas would be absolutely ideal.
Pirate glass is black in appearance until held up to the light when the true colours are revealed. So it looks, pirate glass is very old black glass that is actually red.
Wow.
I'll have to have a look in Jasmine's stash of sea glass and see if because she's been sea glass collecting for many years, and she's got lots of it. She puts it in big like mason and Kilner jars, and she winds all fairy lights.
Nice. On our windowsill at home.
Makes like a lamp, yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that sounds fab.
Okay, we have another question.
Okay. Therese is saying, anyone knows where to buy some really nice stones for jewellery? Where are you in the world?
Mum, we shall let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Dylan's local rock shop is closing, selling every slab $1 each.
Wow.
Wow. Cool. And Dylan's bought a lot of pit to Jasper.
Go to town with that, couldn't you? Just $1 a slab, my gosh.
Oh, didn't you? Paul's asking, did you see my post regarding the demotor flex shaft? I didn't, Paul. Was that on the forum or was it on here?
Just
Can you let me know? Okay. Beth is saying, yesterday I used my cabbing machine for the first time in months. It felt good to be back at it. I missed a lot of cool things to do while I'm working 4 days a week. Yeah, work gets in the way of everything, ruins everything, doesn't it?
Let me just get these. I think Gillian asked for what the names of these torches were. That one is just, if I show you a picture.
On the forum. I didn't, Paul, but I will.
We haven't really been on it too much because we've been on holiday.
This morning, just and had a little look. But I didn't. I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. So I will have a look. Which part of the forum did you put it on, Paul? And I'll have a look.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
Yep. So those are the torches from Durston. The code is 1728, which is the normal one. The Cyclone one, which we're going to try out, is 1729. So you can put those in the search on the Durston site, and they would come up. Cool. Maybe have another question.
Yes. Elizabeth is asking, how does one perfect the curved bottom for a bezel to go on a wide curved ring blank? Stone is 14 by 20 mil oval set on the long edge.
Alrighty. So to perfect it, it depends on, I suppose, the size of the ring. Jason's coming. You all right there, Jace?
Jason, come and say hi. He's trying to creep upstairs. Oh, Sharon.
It's Sharon. So that's your ring, and you're going to have a bezel that you got on the top here. So the bezel really has to be a lot deeper than what you really need it to be, because you have to file the matching curve from that into the bezel. Yeah. So then what you're left with is this depth, which obviously has to be slightly greater than the depth of your stone, otherwise your stone is going to stick down underneath. So practice is the best way. You can get your ring, okay, there's your bezel on this side, okay. So what I would do is perhaps get the ring, lay it on top of the bezel, and then look down with the scribe and get the scribe and just scribe around the bezel like that. So then you get your bezel here with a scribed line. It's not going to be very neat because obviously the bezel is this way. This, yeah. So your scribe line is going to be more of that. Okay. Then what I would do is get a saw. I would saw one side first, then saw the other side. So you're getting within 1 millimetre or so of your scribe line. Then I would get something like a, he says, if you can push the button, there we go. Get something like a ring file that is flat on the one side and rounded on the other. And I would use that then to file across. I'd have the bezel now. That's completely wrong, Andrew. Let's go the other way, that way. Yeah, so that's that way. So there's your bezel, like that there. Here's
Elizabeth is saying, I didn't know if there was a formula to generate the curves.
Oh, not really. It's perhaps before you make it, you could get your piece of metal and you could go, ooh, like this. Like that, but the problem is knowing exactly where you're going to be twisting the bezel to, and is when you put it into, say, an oval, is that section going to be in the right place? So I don't think that is. It's a matter of trial and error. Cut it with a saw, then file it. You can also use some of your cylinder sanding drums that look something like this to do it. It's not easy. It's just, if I can get this camera to focus, there we go. There we go. Something like that with the sanding drums, then you get your sanding drum on the inside to get the curve that has to match.
I tried that too, the filing is just too fidgety.
You just have to persevere or use these little sanding drums.
See, the tree is saying, please mention that the bezel should be identified as with the left and the right side, both centred.
Yeah, so if you do it that way, you can always get your marker and put a marker on the shank there and put a marker on the bezel like that, or get a little bit of tape on here so you know that that side always sits to that side when you're doing it. Don't mark the metal with the scribe or anything like that because you've got to remove the mark, but a little bit of masking tape, insulated tape, what's that thing? It's not sushi tape, swashy tape. So what's that thing? Swashy tape? Whatever. Or a marker, something like that, so you know the bezel always fits on that way and you don't accidentally get it reversed. But yeah, good little point to remember. But yeah, there is no magic formula. That is what I would do. Absolutely. Or another little trick that people do use is they get their mandrel like that. They then will get
washi tape.
Washi tape.
Washi tape.
That's the one. Yeah. Get your piece when you've cut it. Oh, I've gone now. When you cut it to the rough shape, get your mandrel. All right. Get a piece of emery paper, wrap it around the mandrel like that. Then you can get your bezel. Let's pretend that's the bezel, and then you move that up and down over the mandrel. Then you have to turn it around 180 degrees because obviously this mandrel is tapered, and keep doing that way. On the area of the sides of the ring on here, you'll get a nice curve on the inside. So that's another really quick tip. So if I'm making a size M for mother, it's just by here, put that on top of there, and I would move that up and down to make sure that you get a nice curve all the way around. So there, but like that there, up and down in the area that you need to, where the finger size is, and you should get a nice curve. Louise, any other questions on that?
What was I just going to mention? Gillian is asking where the discount codes on At the Bench. So if you're a member of At the Bench, go into the forum, and it's under supplier discounts, I think. Under what section? To be honest, that does feel a bit hidden away.
Yes, well, no.
Can we make them somewhere?
I did.
You did? Did you?
I did.
Okay.
I had them on the top of the...
Because I wouldn't think to look in the forum.
I had them.
That's just me.
I had them in the forum as a banner on the top and a banner on the bottom, and I had them changing. So perhaps Durston came up,
Do you know
Andrew
what,
Berry
though?
came up.
I ignore banners because I always think they're going to be ads.
Yes, and people in the forum didn't like it, didn't like the banners, and they never looked at them.
But then I don't. Yeah, I don't.
So then I removed them.
I get that completely.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think to look in the forum. Sorry, not complaining, but just I do think it's.
Oh, fade to black. Hang on.
Yeah.
Maybe too, Louise.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's a really good point, Gillian. So, yeah, They are in the forum under supplier discounts.
Yes.
Are they under another heading or are they under their own
No, supplier
heading?
discounts. Yeah,
Okay,
all
so
the
they're
codes,
there
all the images are within there from Guess Wine, Durston, and all the other.
Yeah, so they are there, but yeah, I think we should look at putting them somewhere a bit more easily accessible.
I'll let you tell me where to put it.
I'll have a think. Yeah, I'll tell you where to put them. Okay.
Perhaps we can put it on the right-hand side, the forum, or perhaps across. See, I think the thing is, we've had them across the top, and people think, did you say they're adverts?
Yeah, Michael said the same. I too have conditioned my brain to ignore, filter out the banners. Yeah, I don't even see them anymore.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
So where can we put the discount codes in the forum?
I wouldn't look in the forum.
You want to put them on another page? Okay, I can put them on another page.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll have a think. But they are there. But yeah, let's not labour this.
On the members dashboard, we'll have a protected page. Gillian's found them. No worries. Yeah. We'll put them on a separate page on the main page from the dashboard that only members can find.
Like a member benefits page, and just to remind everybody of all the fantastic
Write that down.
reasons
Members
to
benefits. Members benefits.
Write that down.
Quick! Write down before my brain stops. On the subscribe page, David, we need them to be hidden because only paid members have access to the codes, not freebies. Previews. Yeah. So we need to put it on the. We'll put it on the dashboard. Definitely put it on the dashboard.
Yep. Okay.
Next question, then,
Cool.
please. Glad you found them, Gillian. No worries.
Before we go any further, can we just, because I'm scared I'm going to forget, but Martin, who is Scrap Over Engineering, very kindly emailed me some photographs of some lovely work he's done recently for his grandmother.
Okay.
So yeah, we could make this like a bit of a regular section, couldn't we? Somebody, if we get their permission, can we show?
Yep.
Can we show their work? So I don't know. Is Martin? Is Martin on? Are you there? Say hi. Yes, you are. Cool. Okay. So yeah, don't share my screen just yet because I'm still on it.
It's okay. I've got my multi-screen on my monitor now, so I can see if you're ready.
Yeah. How do I make this?
Yeah. So what we thought was that if you've got anything that you want us, if you're happy with, if you want us to show other members, perhaps we can have a bit of a regular feature, perhaps once a month, to showcase some of your bits. All these ideas come to us when we've had a drink.
Well, this was actually Martin's idea because he
Yes.
suggested it, but it has been suggested before as well. So
yes,
I made the video public so you can share the link. Oh, fab. Okay, I don't actually have the link. I'm sorry, but I've got the photos here, which I can show you now.
Can we show now? Cool, cool.
So this is the brooch which Martin made for his grandmother, which is absolutely stunning. It is garnet and sterling silver. So yeah.
Brilliant.
It's lovely,
Made
isn't
for his
it?
grandmother. It's always nice to make something for a family member that you put your heart and soul into, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really lovely. And it's a bit sort of Art Deco-y, which I love.
Absolutely. So it's really good.
Yeah.
So this should be a regular thing?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a lovely job. And in fact, I've got a picture of it on a black background. If I can, why can't I close this? Oh,
so yeah, so if you're very proud of something and you have made one or two things that you really want us to showcase what you do, other people, you're more than welcome just to drop us a line. Do it to Louise at andrewberry.co. No, what's our address? Yes, Louise at andrewberry.co.uk. So that's another picture there. We've got there with it on a black background. I think it's absolutely stunning.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the sun.
That textured sun rays, starburst.
Yeah.
Rather nice.
Gorgeous.
Rather nice.
Yeah.
So well done, Martin, for that. Well done. Absolutely
Silver with
fabulous.
gold solder accents. Yeah.
Nice.
So was there a reason that you designed this? I uploaded a short video. Oh, fab! Of it onto my YouTube channel too. Nice. Was there a significance to the design, or was it just something you thought she'd like, or yeah?
And if you quickly give us the link to the little video on your YouTube channel, pop it in the chat. It will be blocked, but Louise can let that through. That's
Sometimes
not a
they
problem.
don't come up, but if you, hopefully it will. But yeah, we can try. Yeah, if you pop the link on, hopefully I'll be able to.
Yes. Good, good.
Yeah,
Excellent. Well,
yeah,
thank you
it's
very
really
much.
stunning, isn't
So
it?
yeah,
It's
anything you want us to
absolutely
show, please just do let us know. Email to Louise at andrewberry.co.uk, and we can feature you on our Q&As. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you very much for that.
Beautiful.
Any other questions, Louise?
Lots, yeah. Am I sharing my screen now? Because I'm going to have to come off this.
It's okay. No, you're
Okay,
back on
brilliant.
you now. You're right.
Okay, Kristen is asking if I want flat bottoms on my silver balls, the other side nice and round, can I do this while melting?
Yeah.
Or a dapping block with flat punch. Awfully hard to hold on to the file flat. They are 2 to 3 mil.
Yeah, because I've lost my pen. Oh, there it is. Because obviously when the bigger the balls, the flatter your bottom. So obviously if you want big balls, when you're melting them down, gravities make the bottom a lot flatter. So if you're going to make 2 and 3 millimeter, you're going to get flat bottoms anyway, because that's a reasonable size. The weight of the metal is pushing down. You have a flat block, you have a small bit of metal, it's going to be nice and round. A bit bigger, it's going to be a bit flatter. A bit bigger, the board's going to end up that sort of shape, okay? Because the gravity is pulling the metal down. Not much mass, a lot of mass. A lot of mass has a greater amount of pull due to gravity, whereas the small little balls don't. Okay, if you had a little doming set, yeah, there's your doming block. You could put the ball in here, then you're going to have to then get a flat punch that is exactly the same size or slightly smaller than the diameter of the dapping punch to put a flat on it. And yes, you could do that. You've got to be careful though that when the punch comes down, that it doesn't damage the edge of your dapping set, your doming block, because the edge is likely to damage it. So make sure that your punch is smaller than what you need, and the ball then is in here that does that. So yes, you should be able to do it. And 2 and 3 mil, you should get flat bottoms when you melt. When you melt down, some people say don't bother adding flux. Personally, I would. Helps the metal melt down. I think you get a much smoother surface. When you take the flame off the ball, take it away too quick, the ball will go ooh, and shrink, and it will come wrinkled, and you don't want wrinkly balls. What you actually want to do is to get the torch on it and just take the torch away slowly so the ball cools down slowly, and you'll get a much better finish of the surface of your ball. Louise, another question?
Yeah, okay. Paul is in his workshop today watching on my iPad, making a big set half round pliers from normal pliers. Oh, cool. Okay. Was saying, don't forget to like the stream. Oh, that was for the inside of the ring. Brilliant.
What was it? What have we had so far?
Do you want me to read them?
Go on then. Yeah.
I'll copy them onto it.
You have it. Okay.
Marcia has said, oh no, let's start from the top. Dana is saying my perfect
Oh,
gem.
that's nice. I like that.
Martin is saying, how about a nice coat like the balls? Paul is saying, loves eternal.
Nice.
That's nice.
Susan likes the
big
balls flat bottom.
Friends first forever.
Oh, that's nice.
Dylan said lol. Oh, I think that was just in relation to something else. That'd be good, wouldn't it? David is saying it's not the size of your stones. Dominique, you're the apple to my pie. Oh,
that's nice.
Marcia, to the most valuable gem of all.
Oh, that's lovely.
Rebecca's saying you're my serendipity. That's nice. Donna's saying my little cuttlefish. Oh, brilliant.
I do like them. Thank you for that.
They're good.
To heal or not to heal your onglet? I would heal a little bit, because if you can heal, you've only got a small little area to polish. The face is like this. Obviously, when you use your, I'm just jumping the gun now. If you obviously want to make sure that when you engrave, what is left behind is nice and shiny. If you didn't put a heel on it, you're going to have to polish the whole length. Okay? And I don't think anyone wants to polish that whole length because it's going to be very difficult. So yes, you can polish the tip, but by polishing the tip, you are going to incur a very, very slight heel. So here's the bottom, here's the So I would always put a small heel. So it's not completely flat. You've got that little bit of a heel. It may be 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters max, but knowing that when you come to polish it, you've only just got to polish this little area here. So when you do your bright cutting with it, you're going to be left with a nice shiny surface. If you have it flush, so all this is completely flush, you can't polish the whole thing. If you want to do that and you come and you use this little area here, oh, that's my stomach. You're gonna have to polish the whole thing again, but by putting a small heel, and I will exaggerate it, I will do that. So this is your polished heel here. Do it about 1 to 1.5 millimeters. You've only got to polish up this little area to make sure that your bright cuts are still nice and bright. So there we go. Have you got Martin's video?
I have. I've got I've got it. I think I've just found it. I've just not Googled, I've just searched. This is the link to your YouTube. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, David, for that.
Okay. Oh, David, why didn't it go off?
Hey!
Oh.
Woo, woo, woo!
Hang on.
Hey, Louise is going to...
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, David. You're can we have the lights back on, please, Louise?
Oh. There.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Brilliant. So there's the link to Martin's YouTube channel, which I just posted up. Fabulous.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good,
so
good,
if anybody else wants to be featured next week,
just drop us a line. Louise
email me,
at andrewberry.co.uk. Please do. We'd love to see it.
Excellent. Romy's saying a dan do, which is air indoors.
Oh, we must say to a gentleman, Tony.
Oh, yeah, we did mention Tony last week, didn't we?
Did we? Oh,
yeah.
Tony, if you're watching, Tony from Falmouth, hello. Lovely to meet you last week. I think we mentioned it last week.
We mentioned it last week, yeah.
But thank you very much
hello
for that.
again, yeah.
Hello again for that. Hello, Tony. It was always good. We were walking through the streets of Falmouth.
It was better because Grace, your daughter, was with us, and her partner Matt, her fiance Matt. So it was just like we were like,
oh. And they're going, oh.
We were secretly like, oh, brilliant, that was with it.
But thank you for noticing myself and Louise. And what made Louise's day was that Tony said, oh, I didn't recognise you, Andrew, I recognised Louise first.
That's happened before, isn't it?
It has, absolutely,
so
funny. All right then, Louise. Maybe another last question, I think. What other question have we got?
Louise, question, where can I buy gemstones inside the EU?
If you're in the UK, you can buy them from Wards. AE Ward.
The EU is... We're not in the EU anymore.
Oh, not in the EU.
Remember the little thing called Brexit happened?
Oh, that little thing, yeah.
That little thing, yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
So if you're in the EU, unfortunately, you won't be able to buy them from Wards, which is...
You can still buy them. I'm sure you still can buy them.
In the world.
Yes.
But, yeah, I suppose you can, yeah. But if you want them from inside the EU...
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to find out.
That's Brexit's fault. You can't.
Paolo is saying, hello, I have a piece that's heavily fire stained. Can it be remelted, or is the silver piece ruined? No, melt it again. Make sure you put some flux on it. You can melt it back down. If there is a little bit of fire scale, that's a bit of copper oxide on it. When you melt it back down, that little bit of copper will be taken away with the flux, put into the crucible, and you should be able to have a nice bit of silver when you re-pour it out. Yes, next question.
I was just going to say, can you guys help Teresa out and just post some ideas where she can get gemstones within the EU?
Yes.
Who would you recommend? Would
Absolutely.
Be great. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Paolo, you don't necessarily, Susan just said, melt with a reducing flame, mix in new metal. You don't necessarily, you can do, but you don't necessarily have to. But if you have too much oxygen coming out of your torch, perhaps you've got a torch where you can adjust the amount of oxygen coming out with the gas. Don't have too much oxygen. If the oxygen is hissing, it is too much, and the silver will actually absorb the oxygen, which will make it a little bit more brittle. So try not to have it too much of a harsh, nasty, hard flame. Less oxygen, you can melt it down. You don't necessarily have to add any new silver, any new metal to it. You should be able to melt it down again, but don't forget, add your borax or some flux to the melting metal. It'll help it mix down, and also that will help take away any of the cupric oxide that is within the metal to deposit it into the crucible. Do we have a last question, please, Louise?
Okay. Dylan's going rock hounding later. Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry, then we had a little bit of a turquoise chat, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Dylan's getting ready to set up a website and get business cards. Cool.
Nice.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Don't forget there's a business and marketing section of the forum which you can ask questions on, and we can throw some ideas around. Okay, negotiator. Tom, hi. I bought a 14 carat diamond ring and going to put my own stone in the middle setting solitaire. As I go to take the prongs to 4 prongs and bend them over, 1 prong fell off. How do I repair?
Send us a picture. That'd be the best thing. Then we can see exactly how it's broken off, where it's broken off. Usually what you can do, I don't know where this pen is starting to go. There we go.
It's got lots.
I thought I had another. Let me use another colour. Let's actually have another colour. Getting lighter and lighter, this, isn't it? So, okay, let's just use this one. There we go. That's better. So here's your diamond, and you have your claws coming down. Okay, like this. A Tiffany setting. Yeah, so there we go, like that. What you'll find is that sometimes the claws will actually...
It's a Brittany.
It's a Brittany.
It's a Brittany.
No, look at that, how got that crossed like that there, and there's nothing down here if it's a Brittany. I don't know.
Say it like that.
I don't know why I did the voice. Proxy. Okay, so we've got the claw. If the prong here has snapped off like that, what I would do is file it like that, and then perhaps without the stone in place, then solder on a piece of metal like that. Okay, then you file that edge like that, so then that comes off there. Yep, and then what you can do then, you can then thin out the top like that. Okay, which would be then your claw. If you what you should be able to do is actually perhaps bend the whole claw back from the base. If you wanted to do it, you could bend it right back here and then solder the claw on, and then push the whole claw or the prong up and over. So something like that, that is what I would do. If it's actually snapped off down here, what I would do is try and get a piece of metal and cut out the replica of that, the opposite of that, and solder it back on that side down there. But send us a picture. That's the best thing to do. Then we'll actually know exactly what to do. The whiteboard is fuzzy. It is fuzzy. I think I need to bring in some more white markers. Yes, Louise?
SI6, Gillian saying is slight inclusion diamond. I thought there was only 1 or 2.
I think it's going to be 1 or 2 is normal graduate GIA and that sort of thing. Oh, Andrew's fuzzy. Am I fuzzy, Louise? Check on me. Am I fuzzy? I don't want to be fuzzy. No, my camera's not fuzzy, is it? No, my camera's nice and fine. It must be the download stream, perhaps, is a bit slow. Okay. But please do send us the picture of the stone, the claws, the prongs, the setting, and I'll certainly have a look for you. And don't forget, any comments left in the chat, you accept at your own risk.
Yeah, any advice undertaken?
any advice undertaken from the chat, you do at your own risk. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. That's it then.
I think we're done, aren't we?
I think we'll call that a day because it's about hour and 20, hour and 15. We're a little bit late coming on to, we're always late. But we do try and get on nice and early, don't we? But there's always one or two things.
Things always happen, don't they?
They do, absolutely.
Sandra's question. What was Sandra's question? Bessie glasses on sea and beach, lovely coloured pebbles. Yeah, we've been looking into a trip to see them, haven't we?
We have, but it's 5 hours. It's up north. But Seaham is extremely an awesome place because they used to have Victorian glassworks on top of the cliffs, and at the end of every day, they used to tip off the old glass into the ocean, and a lot of glass gets washed up, a lot of multicoloured glass as well. So Janet, thank you very much for the email. I did look up, was it the Markhams, if I remember right, on YouTube? Extremely interesting. They obviously are up north, but for us down in the south, it's about a 5-6 hour trip. We will go up one day. Perhaps we'll go up in the winter when the storms perhaps bring up all the debris from the ocean bed around that area, and we will go and have a look, won't we? Mudlarks, that's it, thank you, it's Mudlarks.
What?
Is the YouTube people. There's lots of Mudlarks on YouTube. It's the Mudlarks family, I think it is, but go and check them out on YouTube. They do a lot of sea glass, really interesting.
Can I think I found Sandra's question, sorry.
Yes.
I used my good files on metal, clay, greenware. Are they ruined, clogged and dull now? Was that the question?
You should be able to get rid of all the clay using a file card, I think they call it, which is like card with loads of stiff bristles. Just rub that over the file. Or what you can do is get your file and then get a small little bit of metal. Let's try and zoom in on this here. So this would be my file. My file is pretty much clogged up. You get a piece of metal, perhaps not brand new silver like this. Perhaps you get something like a piece of copper, make sure it's nice and straight. You'll find that files have teeth pretty much going in one direction. So on this file here, the teeth here are going this direction, this here. So just get the edge of your metal and push that along the edge like this in the direction of the teeth.
Does a brass brush dull the file?
Brass brush will do it, yep.
Does that dull the file though?
This won't dull it at all. No.
Does a brass brush dull the file?
All right. Not necessarily, because the brass should be softer than the metal. But as you can see, just by doing that here, I have got all that. I'm quite sure they can see that on my finger. But I've got all this little bit of dust that comes off a file. And it's good to do that from time to time, because sometimes I find that if there's one or two sort of little teeth that are clogged on a file, and then you go to file, sometimes that little clogged tooth will cause a bit of a groove with the rest of the file pattern. But yeah, it'll, even just doing those little bits, you can see all the dust that's come off it there. So it does pay from time to time, straight edge, not necessarily silver, straight little bit of copper, and that'll get your files nice and clean.
Cool.
Anybody else? Not anybody else. I don't mind trying to say, so I'll start again. Louise, anything else to say? I think we've reached the end of our Q&A for today.
If there is anything else, is there? Are we done?
I think we're done for today. Thank you all for coming on today. Really do appreciate it. It's lovely to be back in this studio. But it'd be nicer if we were still out in the back of a pub with a pint of Rattler. That would be even nicer, wouldn't it? You went to see him last month, Louise, although we had a very successful trip, but the pictures on the internet about the amount of... Oh, cool. Cool. We want to go see him, but it's going to be a little bit a while yet. Louise is... Susan Turquoise on the forum. You did not answer my stamping question. Cedar Tree, we cannot necessarily answer every single question.
Did I miss it though?
We do it in order of they come in. Louise is going to have a quick look now to see if we can quickly see what's what. I cannot guarantee we answer every single question. We do go through them one by one. So if you're early enough to get your question in, you'll guarantee of an answer. But if you come in perhaps halfway through the Q&A and you ask a question, I cannot guarantee that you're going to get it.
No, it looks like I've missed it. I do apologise.
Go on. Last question then from Cedar Tree 1325. Yep.
Will you do a large or any size metal stamping class? I do heavy metal stamping to make men's cuffs. Yeah.
Okay.
It's difficult to purchase larger stamps for my purpose. Does the UK have sources for larger stamps? Does the UK have...
No.
Yeah.
I have... Oh, here we go. Ugh.
Does the UK have sources for larger stamps?
I don't think the UK does. I can recommend an extremely good book for you.
Secret Trees, I have made my own, but I'm not good at it.
Oh, you just need to practice. Get this book, The Art of Stamping by Mattia Cheminay. I would recommend this book if you want to do anything to do with stamping. Absolutely brilliant. Grab yourself a copy of the book, then you can make your own stamps. And to be honest, I'm not a fantastic stamp maker. I've dabbled, and I've gone across to my ironmongers or even gone onto YouTube, and I've picked up some nails, some odd, like a 6-inch massive nail there. That was like a little 4-inch nail. And you can use these onto this one here. I just simply filed away and get in nice and close. I filed a nice little simple straight edge. You know, focus on that. There we go. Nice little straight edge like that. And you can do all sorts. There's a little triangular on that one, straight edge on there. You don't have to be a brilliant metalsmith with that. A file and use progressively finer files, emery paper, polish it, things like that. You can do curves, but this book I would totally recommend. This is, I have to, it's a sealed one, this one. But yeah, definitely recommend this book, The Art of Stamping by Mattia Cheminay. Get it.
How many of them have you got?
I bought one,
Yeah.
and I got given one.
Well, perhaps you should raffle one off. You don't need 2, do you? It's only fair. Come on. Share the love.
Share the love.
And the doubles.
And the doubles? What do you mean the doubles?
You've got 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Possible.
I feel a competition coming on. He's going to sack me, isn't he?
Right, keep an eye out on socials. Keep an eye out on socials for a competition then next week to win a copy of Mattia Cheminay's book. It is this book.
Look how annoyed he is. He's got to give his book away now.
It's a sealed. It's a sealed. Look, the seal is still on the book. It's a sealed book.
It's a good book.
It is a very good book. You can win this book. But Mattia Cheminay, I know he does some Zoom online courses up with like Metalworks in the US. But definitely get this book, Mattia Cheminay, The Art of Stamping. That's it. Let's go.
Oh dear.
But we do have a lot of exciting news happening over the next fortnight for At The Bench. Not even At The Bench members, but just people in general.
He did give one away, but he's hidden that one in the corner of the workshop here. So we actually had 3.
No.
You don't need 3.
No. I didn't have 3. We gave one away. It was sent to the person. It was sent to the person direct.
Let me, Matthew, M-A-T...
Double T, M-A-T-T,
yeah.
H-I-E-U.
H-I-E-U.
Yeah. Cheminay. C-H-E-M-I-N-E-E.
Yeah.
The Art of Stamping.
There you go, Cedar Tree.
The Art of Stamping.
Yeah. The Art of Stamping by Matthew Cheminay.
So yeah, we're going to be having a competition next week to win yourself a copy of that book.
Yeah.
How's that? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, hoarder. Yeah, you are a hoarder though. Some of the stuff you kept. What did I find downstairs? It was, like a computer chair. You don't even use computer chairs downstairs, do we? But it was the arm off a computer chair.
Off arm.
It was the arm. You didn't even have the computer chair
anymore. No, I sat on it downstairs. That's my chair.
Where's the other arm?
Well, there were 2 arms.
But you kept one and binned the other one
No,
off.
there should have been 2.
You didn't need it, did you? Anyway, things like that. Bits of wood, and then he forgets he has them, and then, yeah. Jimmy, looking forward to more... great.
Looking forward, yeah. We do have a lot planned. It is time. Yes. quickly quit before Louise makes you give away. It is just true. I just go. I don't want to give my stuff away.
You can't have 2 books.
It can't. No, but that has been there waiting to be given away. That one has.
Well, I'm going to see what else is around this workshop that I can give away. Not to be confused with the art of stomping. I think I'd have more success at the art of stomping, actually. I could probably write a book on that myself.
Give away the remaining arm.
Yeah.
There's no arm in that, is there really? Very good.
Okay.
We have been giving stuff away, actually.
Oh, yeah, no, you're very generous with your giveaways, yeah.
You just said I wasn't.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm very generous with my giveaways.
I said you hoard.
Oh,
But you
okay.
are very generous with your giveaways. I can't say that you're not, because you are. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on today. I am starving. Louise and I are on a bit of a diet now, aren't we, for a little bit? We've been eating too much, drinking too much last week. So it's time to just pull the plug on the amount of food that we've been eating. Absolutely. So everyone, thank you so much for coming on today. Very kind of you to come on. It's great to be back up here again in our usual question and answer booth. Anything else you want to say, Louise?
Yes, we mustn't let him forget about this book, because you will try and wriggle off the hook.
Everyone, thank you for coming on. We will see you next week on the 20th of September for the next Q&A session. Free videos, free live streams and so much more. Thank you, Amco. Yes, and we got more planned for At The Bench, the At The Bench workshops that we're going to be doing. So that's something that you need to keep an eye out on socials over the next few months. They're going to start at the end of this month, aren't they?
Yes,
I'm
super excited.
We are actually excited. We're going to be doing a little bit of a trial for At The Bench members for you to come on and just to make sure all the technology works. And we'll be asking you a few questions, and we're going to be limiting that to about 10 or 20 people just to make sure it all works fine.
I will say it's going to be a slightly more serious vibe to the workshops. It's going to be a bit less, well, a lot less
There's going to be no chit chat.
And a bit less tomfoolery. It'll still be fun and it'll still be educational and informative, but the focus is on learning, and then we can have a laugh then on a Monday tea time.
Yes,
yeah. and still learn.
But
it will still be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sandra, you're more than welcome. Husband's wondering why you laugh so loud. So I hope you've had another good hour today. Thank you all very much for coming on today. See if you can get an interlibrary loan off the... Yes, no, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? So yeah, thank you all. Don't forget, give this film a thumbs up if you like it, which is absolutely brilliant if you do. Don't forget, get your pictures in if you want to be featured in next week's Q&A. It's literally only like a 2 or 3 minute, just to show your what you're working on, what you're proud of. I'll happily give you a shout out. And if you've got like a social media channels, please let us know and we can certainly promote those as well for you. Everyone, we'll see you next week. Louise, say goodbye.
Mathieu Chamonix. Don't forget. Goodbye.
Take care. We will see you next week, 4 p.m. Monday, 20th September for the next Q&A. Everyone take care. Fade to black. Bye-bye for now.